Yes.
Very nice.
I
I can't see now. Your flowers are so nice. You're hiding behind.
I know.
They're like big roses. They're not just roses. They're very nice. Oh, you got that?
Okay, then. I made arrangements for change just in case it's not.
You want that?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm.
Very nice.
I was involved in the other thing.
You might want to ask him.
Hey, look, son.
Because that's part of it. Lucky him.
Yeah.
For you.
Good.
All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please stand up and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. Happy New Year. We have one councilman who is following us from Florida. He's on video up on the side of the board there. Welcome.
Welcome.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir. Sure can.
All right, good. We can hear you good too. All right. The first order of business is a public hearing, an ordinance amending the conditions of approval for 115.59 acres, more or less, annexed into the town limits by ordinance number 282, ordinance number 321, and ordinance number 353, being lands of Silver Star Buildings LLC. Is somebody out there? We need to read the ordinance.
I think we can just read the caption of the ordinance. Okay. So you can just read the.
Which I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
That's
yeah,
it?
that should be fine.
All right, at this point, is there anyone on the town council that has any comments or questions before I open it up to the public?
No.
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 Mayor, I have one question of the clerk. Madam Clerk, was this notification of this ordinance, was it properly given and published in the paper and notified to the surrounding property owners?
Yes, it will.
Thank you.
Okay. Hearing no comments or questions, I now open it to the public. If you want to come up and speak to the podium, you may do so. State your name and your address. No comments? Okay. Yes.
Hello, Mayor, Council. Thank you for your time. Seth Thompson from Parkowski, Gherkin, Swayze, and Rehoboth, Dover, and Wilmington, and I have Mike Ryman from Becker Morgan. We're here representing Silverstock. If you have any questions for us, we just wanted to make ourselves available, and we're happy to walk through any of the history of the project, I'm happy to answer any legal questions with respect to the language, and Mr. Ryman can go through the engineering, anything like that.
Okay, thank you. We did get 3 comments by email from 3 separate individuals, and they are entered into the record. Do I need to read these?
Are they gonna be published in the record?
Yeah.
Mayor, I don't think there's any need to read them into the record. They will be part of the record for anyone who wishes to come to participate or come to the office and review them. You might want to note for the record who the comments are from so that we can, someone can ask for them if they're listening to this.
And that all council members.
Okay, so we did get one from Diane Seeger. Excuse me. Another from Mark and Sandy Carr. And from Mark Colvin. And each member of the town council has a copy of these minutes, these comments.
And Madam Clerk, those comments are available in the city office, correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Mayor, I believe Mr. Semino has a presentation if he wishes to make.
Yeah, I just wanted to state that the developer was also given a copy of the comments that I received this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Semino.
Thank you.
Mr. Semino, do you have any further remarks for the council?
I do not.
Okay, seeing and hearing no further comments, we're gonna move on. I'm sorry.
No worries, Mayor. So there being no comments, this, for the record, has been the first reading of this revised ordinance. And at this time, there's no comments. We are going to close the public record on this first reading.
Thank you. Okay, the next item of business is the adoption of the agenda. But I'd like to make two additions under communications and presentations. One is the MIIC letter regarding Donna Swartz. And the second is the Chief McLaughlin request to support House Bill 39. Do I have any other additions to the agenda? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 5-0. Now we're moving to the approval of the minutes to the regular meeting of November 8th, 2022.
Approval of the regular minutes from November 8th, 2022.
Second,
Second.
So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, approved 5-0. Moving to communications and presentations. We received a letter from the Ocean View Church of Christ to the town of Ocean View. Wanted to thank us for our $1,000 night to shine donation to the Ocean View Church of Christ. We will use this donation to help give our special needs community their very own prom night on Friday, February 10, 2023, and to further the ministry of Christ by helping one more person find and follow Jesus. Our Ocean View Police is very involved in on this night to shine, and we've been doing it for many years, and I want to thank you very much. Do you have any comments you want to make?
No, just, I want to reiterate, Pastor, Ethan's, comments. This is a great event. It really, supports, shows our support for the, local special needs, community. And, it's a great event. I encourage everybody to come out and, participate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I've been fortunate enough to work these events prior to COVID. And as reiterate what the chief said, it's just wonderful what this does for the needed community. And I invite everyone who can help and participate. It takes quite a few volunteers to pull this off, but it is just a wonderful, wonderful evening. So I encourage everybody to help if they can. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. All right, moving on to the next item. I received this letter yesterday from the IIMC, which is the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. Dear John Runnington, Donna M. Schwartz, MMC of the town of Ocean View has earned the designation of Master Municipal Clerk which is awarded by the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. The International Institute for Municipal Clerks grants the Master Municipal Clerk designation only to those municipal clerks who complete demanding education requirements and who have a record of significant contributions to their local government, their community, and state. The International Institute of Municipal Clerks, founded in 1947, has 14,000 members throughout the United States, Canada, and 15 other countries. And the mission of this global nonprofit corporation is to enhance the education opportunities and professional development of its diverse membership. In light of the speed and drastic nature of change these days, lifelong learning is not only desirable, it is necessary for all in local government to keep pace with growing demands and changing needs of the citizens we serve. Your city can take immense pride in Donna's educational accomplishments and achievement of this milestone. On behalf of the IIMC Board of Directors, I am honored to endorse the conferring of MMC to Donna Schwartz, MMC of Town of Ocean View. We share your pride in this achievement, and we applaud you, your support of the role that Donna plays in your city. So thank you very much. Do we have to call you Master Clerk? Okay, thank you. The next item of business is Chief McLaughlin has asked us to support House Bill 39, which is an act to create the expanded protection of our community's home grant program. This would provide funding of up to $20 million throughout Delaware to be used by the Delaware police agencies and consist of standard allocation made to each agency. And the monies would be used to pay for the salaries of newly hired officers, pay for overtime, to facilitate additional work to address issues of local concern, including traffic enforcement, implementation programs designed to improve the public safety in the area of the agency's jurisdiction. This grant would be used for up to 3 years. And each member of the town council has received a copy of this, and I would like to ask your support in supporting this bill, that we would then ask the league to also support this as well. Any comments or questions?
I highly support it.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
should we support that in the form of a letter or what? Chief?
We are talking about sending a letter to the League of what's it called? The League of
Legal local governments, Delaware League. I could prepare something on behalf of council.
You might also want to include Senator
Our
Parker
representatives.
and Representative Gray.
Yeah.
I believe Representative Gray this is a House bill, and Representative Gray is co-signer on the bill. So we might just want to let them know that Ocean View is supporting it.
Okay, so we all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Moving on to the reports. The first report will be from Don Fox, the financial report.
Thank you. Before you have the monthly financial update as of December 31st of 2022. At the end of December, we've collected 99.34% of our current year taxes, including our new construction bills that went out in November. And we only have one account that has any prior year taxes outstanding. Mid-December, Tidewater Utilities provided us with 13 customers that had past due balances over 150 days. As of the day of shutoffs, which was last week, we only had one account turned off and they were reconnected that day. We had 2 people set up payment arrangements and they've already paid their bills in full. Moving on to our reserve and committed funds, the Emergency Reserve Trust Fund has a balance of $1,034,133. The Capital Replacement Trust Fund has a balance of $1,154,429. The Street Repair and Replacement Trust has a balance of $3,941,832. And the balance in our American Rescue Plan Act Fund is $656,112. The Emergency Services Enhancement Program, as of the end of December, we've had 20 new home construction permits issued, giving us a balance of $1,088,960. Do want to put in here that in September, we received an email telling us or letting us know that the state had additional coronavirus relief funds available. And if we submitted any expenses for the calendar year 2021 that had not been paid previously, we could possibly get additional funding. So we submitted, and in the middle of December, we received another almost $5,300. So this means all the playground sprayings, all the sprayings we did at the building, the additional cleanings have all now been covered by the CARES Act and not out of the general fund for the town. Moving on to transfer taxes. At the end of November, we have a balance of $848,880. This is a reflection of 24 new constructions, 70 resales of existing homes, and 11 land sales. You know, we did receive December sales today, and once again, it's in the 60,000s, which is a lot less than what we've been receiving the last few years. So even with that, we are still ahead of our target by 78,000. So I still believe that we're going to come in for our target for the year, the 1.25 million, but it has decreased, and we'll be looking at that for next year's budget. We're following this recap here are our financial pages on 3 and 4 and the analytics on page 5 and 6. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know.
Any questions or comments for Bob?
No.
No, thank you. Moving on to public safety, Chief.
Yes, Mayor, you have two separate reports. We didn't meet last month, so you have November's information as well as December's, and then we also provided some comparison data, overall amounts of complaints and hours spent on various duties from 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. I'll be happy to answer any questions regarding that data. A couple of highlights. Police Department received an award for grant award for $5,512 from the state aid to local law enforcement. That's funds are going to be earmarked for extra overtime patrols. And $4,324.30 from the Emergency Illegal Drug Enforcement grant. We're going to use that for buying informant funds and overtime for drug investigations. We had the drug take back day in November. We collected 61 pounds of unused prescription drugs that were turned into the DEA and incinerated. Special honor Special Olympics. I think the town manager may highlight this as well, but we had a bocce court ribbon cutting, and then also Corporal Caselli attended the 2022 Law Enforcement Torch Run International Conference in Round Rock, Texas. And that trip was paid for by the Delaware Special Olympics. 2 new police vehicles were received. They're in the process of being upfitted. We just got them both marked. They're in the parking lot. And as soon as we can get them upfitted, they're going to be put in service. And I'll just cut it off there and be happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Any questions for the chief? No. Thank you, chief. Moving on, planning and zoning development. Mr. Semino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I could, Madam Solicitor, I want to backtrack a minute to the Silverwoods and the reading of the ordinance. I just received a letter from the HOA president at Silverwoods. She indicated that they put it in the mail, I imagine via USPS. Obviously, we didn't get it because it wasn't read here, but I have forwarded that to the town clerk and to your attention. Now I'll get on with my reports. So over the last couple of months, we've been getting ready for winter weather operations. We've met with our snow removal contractor to review snow routes, de-icing routes, manpower, and most importantly, expectations. Our maintenance manager has also checked out our equipment to make sure it's operational and ready. We have ordered supplies as well. Tonight, I want to talk a little more than I usually do about capital improvements to make sure we're getting the word out about a lot of the projects. So we have many projects, and this isn't even the half of them, the projects that we've undertaken. But the West Avenue Streetscape project has finally been completed and it's been accepted for maintenance. That job turned out to be very successful. We've gotten a lot of very positive comments about it. That segment of sidewalk will reflect what the rest of the sidewalks that we're going to be constructing here on the north side of town are going to look like. Design of the final segment of sidewalk along Woodland Avenue between Hudson Avenue and Daisy Avenue. It continues at this moment. It should be finished up sometime midsummer. Design of the sidewalks along Daisy Avenue connecting Woodland to the Asselwoman Canal Trail along Central Avenue. It's completed. We are awaiting word from DelDOT right now with regards to a TAP funding application for construction, construction management, construction engineering. So hopefully we'll get good news from those folks. Design of the final phase of drainage improvements in Country Estates is ongoing. The Office of Planning and Development will be seeking funding for construction in the upcoming FY24 budget season. Design of the final phase of drainage improvements in Woodland Park continues. Design of intersection improvements to Wedgefield Boulevard at Central Avenue has been completed. Our office will be seeking funding for this construction project in the FY24 budget. Design of the Lord Baltimore Elementary School footbridge is completed. We'll also be seeking funding for construction of this improvement during the FY24 budget season. And the first phase of drainage improvements for the cottages in Hudson Avenue is scheduled to start construction-wise on January 23rd, 2023. Following this construction project, later this calendar year, 2023, we will begin construction of drainage improvements in the cottages. That project has been ongoing for the 4 years that I have been here. Design started in 2019. Design was halted as we were seeking grant money from DEMA for the design of that project. So we had to hold up, could not do any more work on it until we got a word from them whether or not, and ultimately we did not get any funding. And then COVID hit. And then the employment challenges started for some of our consulting engineering staff with request for their staffing levels. But I'm pleased to note that the design of the drainage improvements in the cottages community is wrapping up and will be ready for construction later this year. The rest is code enforcement permits and COs, business and rental licenses. If you have any questions, please ask.
Any questions for Mr. Simo?
Mr. Mayor, I got two real quick. Ken, it says the total businesses and rental license for CY 23 is 863, which is down significantly from 22. Is that just because they haven't been issued yet or applied for, or what would cause that difference?
It's an accounting yearly thing? No? So BLs?
The applications went out, November, December, so they're just coming in now. So I think in February, you're gonna see that kind of the numbers come up, as well as with gross rental receipts. They're not due till February 15th, so it's really low right now, but you'll see that come up as well.
All right, so safe to assume we're generally speaking about the same amount, hopefully, as it was in 2022.
As many, if not more.
Okay,
So it would be fair for me to say to you, it would be not unusual for me to stop a vendor or for Greg to stop a vendor that we see doing construction somewhere. And at this point, maybe their license hasn't gotten back to them because it's still in the queue. I mean, that's an awful lot of licenses for one licensing agent to process.
Yeah, okay. And I think I talked to you briefly, we have, or we're in the process of billing Indian River School Board for that money to help fund that bridge.
It's been received.
Yep, we sent them, we invoiced them, and Dawn just mentioned that it's been received.
All right, excellent. And way back in the spring, Jay Warrington had some bills about irrigation fixes on around the Church of Christ. Has that all been deciphered out and taken care of?
No, I met with the irrigation company and our construction managers probably in October, maybe. It's been a while. They had some areas where we didn't believe we actually did any work.
Right.
We directed them to revise their bills and get them back to us. And we have not heard from the irrigation company since that time.
Okay, because I know when I looked at that bill, it was just like you said, I didn't understand part of it, and it just didn't look practical if that work caused some of those problems.
Correct.
Good. Thank you, Ken.
Yep.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you, Ken. Moving on to the town manager's report.
Yes, thank you very much. I can see it. I'll skip over some things, but just thought it was important to include in my report that over the course of the last year and a half, we have been receiving inquiries from various HOAs that are communities that are adjacent to the town that are not actually in the town, and they're built out, beginning conversation about the desire to annex into the town. So there's 5 different of these communities that myself, Ken, and the chief have engaged with. We're at various different levels of communication or sharing information with each, but I think it's important for you all to know that it's something that could be in the wind. If any of them do move forward, you would be the first to know, and there would be public information shared about it. And there's a process in our code that would be followed. But I just, what we're hearing, there's a strong interest in having police patrols and a police presence within the communities, and a strong sense of community to belong to and be part of the town of Ocean View. So 5 different developments is a lot. There's a very long process and stringent process for us, but I think it's a positive thing to hear, and the decisions will be made later. Okay. open space purchase, as everybody I think knows, we did purchase November 30th. We went to closing on the property at the corner of Muddy Neck and Double Bridges Road. We utilized the American Rescue Act funds as well as grants that we got from Sussex County for excess tax revenues to purchase this. So no town revenues that from tax dollars or anything was used to purchase this open space. We're now, I'm able to say that we have received information about a grant of $60,000 that we're going to receive from outdoor recreation and park trails for the state of Delaware, DNREC. Ken is heavily involved in a TAP grant that we have received very positive information about, and that is in the range of approximately $800,000. And we also are keying up to participate in a presentation to Sussex County Council to ask for some open space funds. So the goal of all of this is that we're trying to create this lovely outdoor recreation area with almost fully grant funding. Of course, the town will take care of it from then on out, but we're hopeful to have the majority of the purchase. Purchase has been grant funded, and the development of the property funded through grants. So keep your hold on to your hats, because I think we're going to do it. We got a lot of good momentum going for this project.
And this is one of the issues brought up in our comprehensive plan that the town wanted us to move forward with this.
Yes, it checks off many of the boxes that were highly ranked by the people of our community who participated in surveys and in-person opportunities to share. Yeah. As you all know, we have started our preparations for the FY24 budget, which would for us begin May 1st. Mayor and council a little bit later on the agenda will be asking you for some feedback as we start the process. We had a wonderful Old Town Holiday event. It was the third annual, and of course we had one off for COVID. But just can't thank all of our staff, mayor and council, for your support for the program. We received a tremendous amount of good feedback about the program and how much it was enjoyed. And we can't do it without everybody pitching in. And I think it now that it's been around 3 years, I think it seems like it's dug in, and it's something we're going to be continuing to do, hopefully. Just want to share a couple partner updates. Of course, Historic Village of Ocean View just concluded its Smithsonian exhibit in the fall, Life in Small Towns. I'm on the board for the Historic Village, and of course it resides on town property here in the park. So that was an exciting day. We were the first exhibit for the Smithsonian, and it will move across the country. We had a very good attendance at 7:38. During the two or 3 weeks that it was here. And from all accounts, it seems like the Smithsonian representatives were very happy with the outcome. South Coastal Village volunteers, also a tenant to our community center here, has reported that at the end of 22, the village had 45 members and 90 volunteers ready to offer services. They set key goals for 23, which is to expand membership. And they also just recently, the South Coastal Village volunteers were selected to receive the 2022 Governor's Outstanding Volunteer Service Award. So great to have them here right in our community, in our facility. They've been good neighbors to us, and to have good access for the people who live in Ocean View. Then I just want to say a thank you to Boy Scout Troop 281 and Cub Scout Troop 280. They have come to our rescue and have been a partner for the better part of 4 years to provide all the food for all of our activities. They get the money, we don't have to handle the food. It's a perfect partnership as far as I'm concerned. So, that's been wonderful. And then, of course, Fire and Ice will take place later this month, January 27th and 29th, right here in the park. And that's another partnership that we have with the Quiet Resorts Chamber of Commerce. So just a little bit about that. Then I also share a long list of things that have been accomplished by our Public Works Division. I won't go through that, but it's available for anybody. And a couple of notes that we received thanking us from the Cub Scout Pack 280 and one from the South Coastal Village Volunteers. Be happy to answer questions about that or anything else. Chief mentioned we had the bocce ball ribbon cutting. You all were there. That was wonderful. We do have people registering now to have the code to be able to have access to our equipment. So that's starting, of course, in the spring. We'll be doing a big push and also hopefully have classes offered for people. I guess with that, I'll answer any questions. Yeah.
Thank you. Moving on to the Millville Volunteer Fire Company report. We have report for November and December. In November, they had 260 calls. In December, they had 276 calls, of which 38 were in the town of Ocean View in November and 32 were in the town of Ocean View in December. Of the total 276 calls, 232 were the emergency services and 24 were fire. Any further comments? If not, we're going to move to citizens' privilege on all the items that were pre-published on the agenda. And for consideration, if anyone chooses to speak at the first citizens' privilege, he or she may not speak on the same subject at the second citizens' privilege. So at this point, we're going to open it up. I see there are a number of people that came in after we had the reading of the ordinance, ordinance number 282, 321, and 353, lands of the Silverstock Builders. So if anyone has any comments or questions, please come to the podium, state your name and your address. Yes, sir.
My name is Joe Seeger from 26 Old Forge Drive in Ocean View, Silverwoods.
Mr. Seeger, are you going to speak about Silverwoods?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Could you just hold 1 moment?
Oh, okay. I thought that's
Yeah.
what this
No,
was about.
Stay at podium. I just want to clarify something for the record.
Okay.
So Madam Clerk, we had closed the public record. This gentleman is going to speak, so we're going to open it back up for the citizens' privilege. We'll just, if you would remind me when we're done with citizens' privilege, we'll close it back up. Okay. Okay, for the public hearing.
I think you may have received a letter in regard to a suggestion that the landscaping that is planned for the Silverwoods community take place at the same time that they construct the walking trails. And the thought behind that was that a lot of the landscaping, or at least a significant portion, takes place along the trails and also involves, I'd say, the majority of the homeowners part of the community. And another idea about this would be that you would only disturb the soil one time, might reduce silt runoff and some of the issues that result from that. So the idea would be that majority of the landscaping take place throughout the community, being a one-time deal, with the exception of the clubhouse area and what I would call the construction road and the adjoining woods, which are going to be where the townhouse community is going to exist in the future. That would be deferred until the townhouse community is established to some degree, because there's going to be trucks and everything running up and down that construction road. And that's primarily the discussion. I mean, and of course, the landscaping would take place or in the clubhouse area after the promised amenities have been installed and that kind of thing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Or comments? Or anything else?
So I just wanted to ask Mr. Thompson, did you want to make any comment? And
I'm happy I stayed so I could hear that comment. I'll kind of huddle up with my team and see if we can get a response for that.
well, we're going to have a second hearing. as
Right.
well. So you guys, if you wish to address that, you may do so at the second reading.
I think that's probably what makes the most sense, just because it does sound like more of a construction scheduling issue as opposed to kind of a legal issue. Yeah.
Well, we closed the public hearing, but we have people showing up, so we thought it best to let everybody have their.
And I'm always happy to hear what people have to say so that I can then get a good answer for them for the second time.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing no further comments, we're moving on to new business. We don't have any new ordinances introduced at this time. Thank you. Moving on to discussion, consideration, and possible voting on regarding directions for the fiscal year 2024 budget discussion. I know that you've asked the town council members to provide advice. I think one of the things that I would like to throw out there is that the objective should be for this year, no tax increase. And I think what the finance department needs to do is to look at the cost of planned activities that we have on the books now. And what we plan to do for,
Yeah, I'm not even. with the
Okay.
steps. Thank you, I promise.
okay, so I think looking at the cost of planned activities for the next fiscal year. Of what we have planned. Looking at the cost of living adjustments, I think for the year now it's 7.1. And how does that impact expenses and salaries?
Mhm.
And then looking at how does all of that relate to expenditures and revenues? And whether or not the budget is balanced. And it isn't balanced. I would like your recommendations about what we need to do in order to make it balanced. Any other suggestions? Steve, I know you have ideas.
Well, I agree with you, Mr. Mayor. We should do all that is possible with formulating this budget with no tax increase. I think through discussions that we've had, getting, first of all, the CPI in will give us a better idea of where we're going with increases. Having a conversation with Ken Simino, he is starting to see stabilization of some pricing. So there are some good things on the horizon. Inflation does seem to be moderating a bit. And I would wholly support no tax increase. I would never say the word never, and I'm not. But there's other items and areas within the budget, and if we do need to find some funds, I think we can. Keeping our employees and our community vibrant, place to live, place to make your family grow up, and the business community to thrive is our goals and our objectives. And obviously the number one thing is keeping people safe. So with that in mind, let's create a budget.
Thank you. Any further comments? Okay, moving on. I'm sorry.
Are we gonna address the?
Oh.
We just wanted to, last couple of years, maybe 3 years, we've been going over the things that we've been directed, to add, in the budget from the beginning, and just want to make sure that we're still on the same page, for these items. If we start with the operating budget, the discount on real estate property tax, if we want to continue to include that, if the mayor and council would give us, a yay or nay on that.
Okay,
Okay. Why don't we just say if it's a no, that'll be easier, right?
okay.
Okay, transfer tax. So the question is, does council support to continue with the operating budget having no reliance on transfer tax for FY 24? Okay,
Yes.
Yes.
so next one for the health and the dental and the vision, we're looking to see if you want the continuous of offering the state of Delaware high mark basic insurance subscriber and family at 2% cost to the employees, and as well as Dominion Dental subscriber and family, and no cost to the employees for the state of Delaware's low tier vision plan, and no cost to the employee proposed for the proposed FY 24 budget.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll keep those benefit things the same, at least in the first draft. Water increases, right now, we do not have any information, but in December 11, 28, council agreed, I'm sorry, I said water, it's wage increases. Council agreed that we would follow the CPI Mid-Atlantic, which will be out in a couple of days. We do know that it's trending down, so I had a conversation with Councilman Cobb earlier today that this has been our course of action since 2018, but depending on what happens, I relayed to him for the December numbers that we would be able to, if council wanted to give some other direction, they could. You don't absolutely have to stick to this, but we're going to know in a couple of days. And going into the budget for the first roundup, we will adhere to this, what we have been doing. And if we think that there needs to be some adjustments, we can do that as we move through.
I think that's prudent.
Okay. We don't know what's going to happen for the this month, although it has been trending down. The annual payout for the sick and the medical leave, you'll recall that we started this in 2020 because so as not to maintain all of the accruals, so that that we had to have that on our books. We would pay out some if people wanted to a certain extent at the end of each year. So should we plan to continue that?
I have one question. I'm not saying I agree with my question, but there are some municipalities that have a use or use rather than carryover. Why don't we do that?
Well, people have various different things, but usually there's maybe a cap, not real typically usually leave for sick leave. There might be a cap. And then you lose things after that. When we did this, we did a evaluation of different towns to see what everybody was doing. We were like in the middle of how much vacation was being given, how much sick leave accrual and everything. And we got to we came to this conclusion, so that, which is customary for a lot of places, to reduce the liability on the books for how many, we have some very long-term employees, 20 plus years. So use it or lose it is vacation typically. And then with some type of a carryover, people can carry over 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I can only carry over 2 in my contract. So that's typical for also vacation. And do we need to give more information on that or?
No, I was just asking a question, but I think it might also be, you know, if we aren't able to balance the budget, we have to look at that as well.
Yeah, if we do the first rollout, after we have all the different, information in from the different divisions. What I'll do is Dawn and I will get together and we'll come to you, with ideas. We're not gonna make you have to struggle to figure it out. We'll try to figure it out. I don't have any reason to anticipate that right now. But again, what we've been talking about for the last 3 years, that transfer taxes and, you know, certain things are gonna start slowing up. It's happening. Okay, we're doing all the other things. The cleanliness, the safety, the sense of community, the infrastructure projects that can list it off. All of those things that add to the quality of life are what's gonna bolster. As one goes down, the other's gonna come up. So it's the attractiveness. So, but yeah, if we come back, if we realize, you know, we're not there without a tax increase. And we're not in favor of a tax increase either. We're gonna tighten our belts and we'll see what we can do, but it's too premature for me to say, because I don't even have the benefit of all the information from all the divisions yet.
Mr. Mayor and Carol, on this sick leave, what was the cost or in terms of dollars last year that people cashed in on their sick leave?
You remember?
I do not, but I have that information at my desk. And I can have that sent out tomorrow to you.
Could you do that? And then
I can.
And then, Carol, you made mention, and obviously it's great that we have long-term employees. There is right now no cap on this accrued sick time. Am I correct?
There is.
There's a cap,
Okay.
yes.
What was the cap?
It's 1,000 hours,
1,000 hours.
I think.
It's
I have to
1,000 hours.
pull the
Well,
employee manual.
I used to have my employee manual in here, but I don't have it in my book right now, but we think it's 1,000 hours.
Okay.
People can accrue.
That can accrue and then
If
cash
they
in.
leave, cash it in if they leave employment.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to know
Okay.
those numbers.
Yeah, we can send that,
Send that section.
send that out, but yes, that, and keep in mind, the first year we did it was it 2021?
Yes, for
So
calendar.
we did it in
2020.
2021. And that was a year where, because we were doing it for the first time, that would have been higher than last year. So we'll give you both years so you can see kind of a trend.
Okay, whatever you send out to Steve, you sent to office, right?
I will
Yeah,
send
every-
it to Carol.
every- yeah.
Carol will send.
Okay.
Send it. Mhm.
Yeah, so let me see. And any other questions on that one? No? Okay. So the police department is again requesting the purchase of one new vehicle for $80,000 to add to our fleet. With the proposed FY24 budget, we are requesting to fund the purchase of this vehicle from the Emergency Services Enhancement Fund, which currently has $1,088,000. Ordinance 285 provides the council can award these funds to emergency service providers, including our local police department. We have typically provided these funds every year to the Millville Fire. But there's nothing that says that we can't fund our own police vehicles with this. I want to give credit where credit's due. Councilman Cobb discussed this with us, and it's a great idea. We know we're always going to have to replace our police vehicles, and utilizing this while keeping in mind that we want to keep supporting Millville Fire. and keeping an eye on the totals and everything. That's, unless you think it's a bad idea, that's what we're gonna do for the budget.
I agree with Steve.
I agree with the
Yeah,
mayor.
one comment. I think there's enough in that fund to do both. The police vehicles and the fire department.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. There currently is, yes. Yeah. Okay, then community events, we talked a little bit about them earlier. This is, again, you know, we've been tweaking things over the last few years. Costs have gone up. As you know, we came back to you for extra money for Cops and Goblins. And you graciously allowed us to have it. This is where we're at right now. Massaging again, where some events are coming in less, some are coming in more. We added a new event. When we asked for the money last year, it was called an Easter egg hunt. Okay, that's what we asked for the money, and it would be this spring. However, right after that, our neighboring community, Millville, who now has a park, had a big Easter egg hunt. So we sat back and we said, well, you know what, we don't really want to compete so much, and we want to be a good neighbor. So we actually took a step back and think that we have a pretty good idea for spring fling that would celebrate everything spring. We're finalizing all the details, but so it's back in this budget titled Spring Fling, just so you're not confused about what's going on there. And we are planning to offer the Spring Fling event this May.
Could we include Arbor Day into that?
Arbor Day, yes, as a matter of fact, we're thinking alike, because that's what we thought. We would plant the tree and have the Boy Scouts involved like that, so that it's more of a, you know, there's synergy between that and everything else that we're going to do for that event. Yeah. We do still have them separated in here, though.
Well, I'll tell you, Carol, this is what makes our community. This is what makes our town. All these events. It's great to live in Ocean View. You know, we're a fork in the road. But when you put in these events and the care that you put in, this is what makes Ocean View a community, and why, and one of the major reasons people want to live in it. And I wholly support these funds and look forward to a great 2023 with these functions.
Thank you. I also want to mention, I threw in $2,000 because we do know we want to try to do something with tournaments for bocces. And then we also know that in 2024, the 135th, 2024 or 2023. 2024 is the 135th anniversary. So I threw some money in there. We're not sure what we're going to do. Doesn't look like it's going to be a big event, but maybe we're going to be celebrating it a little bit at every event where we're going to recognize it during that year. And we just wanted to have some funding, whether it's for advertising or whatever, to recognize the town's birthday. Other than that, everything else is the same, tweaked here or there for what we're seeing it's costing us to offer. Okay, anything on that? The contingency for a capital budget, what we started a few years back was for a 5-year capital improvement plan is to, once we have the capital program set, 10% of that of the overall cost would be put into a contingency fund. If we need to use the contingency fund, don't worry, we come back and ask for it, but the money's sitting there and it's 10% of the overall capital program. So you still get a chance to say yay or nay, but if you are so inclined and you know projects do need contingencies, then the money's there for you to grant it for the project. So keep that in.
Yep.
Okay. The water 5-year agreement with Tidewater was signed on April 8, 2018. And it ends FY 23. So for FY 24, we would be reviewing and signing a new agreement. That's what we would intend to do. So there's really nothing more to share on that at this time. You have the timeline, it mimics pretty much last year. No real surprises there. Thank you, Dawn, for putting all this together. And if there's anything else that we need to pay attention to for the first roll up, if you want to tell us anything else, any other direction, this is a good time to tell us.
I think we're fine.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, we appreciate it. It helps a lot.
Okay, moving on to discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a recommendation to approve contract Ocean View Planning, Zoning and Development 2303 Savannah's Landing ADA improvements. And
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Advertisement soliciting sealed bids for contract OVPZ&D 2303 were placed in local newspapers and on the town's websites. Bid proposals were accepted by the town manager at the municipal building located at 201 Central Avenue on Thursday, November 17th, 2022. Work for this project involves furnishing all labor, materials, transportation, tools, supplies, and equipment necessary to construct ADA compliant sidewalks at each driveway in the community. This is the final phase of our ADA improvement plan. 2 sealed bids were received and opened. George and Lynch Incorporated, $299,535. Adel Construction, $323,997. The engineer's estimate was $281,668,067. A complete review and summary of the bids was performed by Mike Biaco, project manager with the Kircher Group. It's attached for your review. Funding is available for these improvements in the FY 2023 operating budget line items, sidewalk repairs, DPW, in the amount of $272,012. The remaining money needed is available in budget line item, street repair and replacement, in the amount of $662,000. It is therefore recommended that mayor and council authorize the town manager to enter into a contract with George and Lynch Incorporated for the total bid amount of $299,535.
any questions? If not, then I need a motion to authorize the town manager, excuse me, to enter into a contract with George and Lynch Incorporated for the total bid amount of $299,535.
Motion to authorize the town manager to enter into a contract with George and Lynch Incorporated for the total bid amount of $299,535.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So passes. Next item is discussion, consideration, possible voting on a recommendation to approve contract Ocean View Planning, Zoning Development 2306 Woodland Sidewalks, State Road 26 to Hudson Avenue.
All right, this project is the first in a series of projects that will construct sidewalks along Woodland Avenue, connecting Route 26 to the Aswan Canal. Advertisements soliciting sealed bids for contract OVPZ&D 2306 were placed in local newspapers and on the town's website. Bid proposals were accepted by the town manager at the municipal building located at 201 Central Avenue on Thursday, November 17th, 2022. This work involves furnishing all labor, material, transportation, tools, supplies, and equipment necessary to construct ADA compliant sidewalks and partially reconstruct Woodland Avenue from Evans Avenue to Hudson Avenue. 2 sealed bids were received and opened. Adel Construction, for $878,000. Georgia Lynch Incorporated for $392,407.65. The engineer's estimate was $312,566.33. Complete review and summary of the bids was performed by Mike Diaco, project manager from TKG, and is attached for your review. Funding is available for these improvements in the FY 23 capital budget line items. 01615-223-018, which is the project identifier for this segment of Woodland sidewalks in the amount of $228. And also in the capital budget line item 01615-223-955, which is the contingency identifier specifically for this project in the amount of $35,800 for a total available of $357,028. Therefore, recommended the mayor and council authorize the town manager enter into a contract with Adel Construction for the total bid amount of $323,878,000.
Any questions? If not, I need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town manager to enter into a contract with Adel Construction for the total bid amount of $323,878.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Steve, would you vote?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you. Discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a resolution for adoption of the Sussex County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Ken?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is regarding Sussex County's multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. Town of Ocean View, along with other coastal communities in Sussex County, participate in this multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan, which brings the continuity of operations across Sussex County in the event of the natural hazard. 25 municipalities across the county currently participate in the plan. A complete list of the participating municipalities can be found on pages 10 and 11 of the attached executive summary. The purpose of this multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan is to provide guidance for hazard mitigation in Sussex County. The plan identifies hazard mitigation goals, objectives, and recommended strategies and initiatives for county and municipal governments to reduce harm and damage from natural hazards. This plan update continues to keep Sussex County qualified to obtain all disaster assistance, to include all categories of public assistance, individual assistance, and hazard mitigation grants. Chief, do you have anything you want to add to this? I know your group is probably more involved in this than maybe my group.
No, you could.
Okay. Staff's recommendation is we recommend that mayor and council adopt the revisions that were made to the 2022 Sussex County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan.
Any questions?
Just one comment on page 11 of the executive summary. For the town of Ocean View, the percent change from 2010 to 2020 is listed as 4.01. I think that should be 40.01.
Noted, I'll pass it on.
Who's a Reddit?
Good catch.
That's it.
Any other comments? If not, I need a proposal to adopt the revisions on 2022 Sussex County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan.
Motion to adopt the Sussex County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 5-0. At this point, we're going to open it back up to citizens' privilege. Anybody have anything you want to say? Not, Town council is going to move into executive session. You're welcome to stay. It might be 15 minutes to a half an hour before we adjourn.
Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Before we have a motion to move into executive session, we're just gonna close the public record on the public hearing, the first reading of the ordinance on Silver Stock Builders that was the initial public hearing.
Okay.
We have a motion for public, we need a motion for executive session. Yeah, we have a motion for the executive session.
Motion to go in executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Hey, Carol, you're going to give me a call?
I will, yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
The time we went in. 4:15 when we went in.
I think that's about right.
Okay, we're going to reconvene. We have just come out of executive session. And Councilman is going to make a comment.
Yes, so we were in executive session from approximately 4:15 to 4:52. The minutes of the executive session are private, but will be held with the town clerk. And no action was taken.
Okay. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Thank you. Have a good evening.
thank you.